Hi, friends. Happy Passover. What's Passover, you may ask? Passover is a Jewish holiday where we celebrate our freedom and new beginnings. And I have a book about Passover. Would you like me to read it? It's called The Passover Lamb. Let's get started. Wow, the first page is so beautiful already. The Passover Lamb. One morning, as Miriam scattered chicken feed and gathered eggs, she chanted, Manishtana Olela Hazeh. Why is this night different from all other nights? After weeks of practice, she knew the words and melody by heart. Tonight at her grandparents' house, she would sing the 4 questions of the Seder, the special Passover meal. She could hardly wait. Next, Miriam fed the sheep. They all came running when she called, except for one. Snowball. Miriam peered into the barn. Snowball was still inside, pawing the floor, moving hay and straw with her nose. Something's not right, Miriam thought. She ran toward the house. There's something wrong with Snowball, she called. Her parents and her brother Aaron hurried to the barn with Miriam. Snowball was grunting and breathing hard. Miriam looked again at the big sheep. Maybe she's having a baby, she said. I think you're right, said her father. Though it is late in the season, but Snowball's so woolly we didn't notice. Well, I hope she has the baby soon, Aaron grumbled. Oh no, Miriam cried. I almost forgot. We're leaving. We still have lots of things to do before we can go, their mother said. Let's finish getting ready. After lunch, Miriam returned to the barn. As she tiptoed in, she heard the soft sounds of a mother sheep makes to her newborns. In the dim light, she saw Snowball nuzzling 2 tiny lambs. Miriam ran to tell her family. Snowball had her babies, she called. 2 babies. The family rushed to the barn. As they watched Snowball nursing the twins, Aaron pointed to a dark lump in the hay. What's that? He asked. Far from Snowball and the newborns, a 3rd baby lamb was lying all alone. There he is right there. Miriam carried him to his mother. Bah, bah, Snowball grunted. She pushed him away with her nose and turned back to the other 2 lambs. Snowball, this one needs you too, Miriam whispered. Again, Snowball shoved the little lamb aside. She might not have enough milk for all 3 babies, Miriam's mother said. He might have to be fed with a bottle. Miriam knew that orphaned lambs needed milk every 4 hours. No one else would have time to care for him, not even the neighbor who looked after the animals when Miriam's family was away. That meant they might have to stay at home. They would miss the Seder. Please, Snowball, Miriam begged. Take care of your baby, please. Let's leave them for a bit, Miriam's mother suggested. Maybe Snowball will change her mind. Later, the family returned to the barn. The little lamb was still alone, calling for his mother. He's starving, Miriam cried. She grabbed a bottle and filled it with special milk for newborn lambs. Holding him gently, Miriam fed the hungry lamb. Miriam, honey, her father began. I'm very sorry, but there's no way we can leave him, he sighed. Mom and I will get things ready for a Seder at home. No, Aaron shouted. I want to see Grandma and Grandpa. Miriam frowned. And it's my year to ask the 4 questions, she said. I've been practicing for weeks. I want the whole family to hear. Alone in the barn, Miriam cuddled the lamb. She felt like crying. The lamb looked up at her. Ma, he bleated. Ma. I don't know what to do, Miriam told him. I can't leave you, but I want to be at Grandma and Grandpa's for Passover. We'll tell the story of how the Jews were slaves in Egypt, and a wicked king named Pharaoh made them work night and day. One mother hid her baby, Moses, in a basket to save him. When Moses grew up, he led the Jews to freedom. Miriam stood up. Hey, she said, giving the lamb a big hug. I know what to do. A short while later, Miriam was ready. Let's go, she called. In her arms was a basket, and nestled in the basket, wearing a diaper with his tiny tail sticking out, was the little lamb. Miriam's father laughed. Great idea, he said. And we've got just enough time to get there for the start of the Seder. Yippee! Aaron cheered. At last, Miriam and her family arrived at her grandparents' house. Look, everyone, Miriam said as she proudly carried the basket into the house. Meet Moses. As the whole family celebrated the Feast of Freedom, Miriam chanted the 4 questions perfectly, and Moses, the Passover Lamb, reclined in her lap. Ma, he bleated softly. Ma! Miriam giggled. Listen, she said. He's singing the 4 questions too. Ma nishtana. And they all had Passover dinner together, their Seder. Here's their Seder plate with the legs lamb and the egg and the bitter herbs. And there's haroset and salt, salty water. The end. Happy Passover, friends!